You're not going to believe this. Mary, math is scary, called the local cops again. And you're not going to believe what it was for this time. George, you're not going to believe this. You're just absolutely not going to believe this. Mary called the local sheriff deputies again.
For what this time?
Over mail. She called them to open her mail. Now, let's back up just a little bit, okay? Mark Twain said, don't pick a fight with people who buy ink by the barrel. And what he meant was this. Don't pick a fight with somebody who has a pen and a readership that actually reads it, okay? Now, in today's terms, that would be don't pick a fight with somebody who has viewers and a social following that will actually act on him. But our following does incredible things, right? I mean, come on. Let's think about this just for a little bit. Our following has sent over $150,000 worth of school supplies to orphans in Egypt.
Yes, it was incredible.
Our following has sent kids to Christian camp. 2 speedboats for Christian camp up in Ohio on Lake Erie. Our following has done amazing things in restoring the love for people who've lost their lives and then regained it through storage units, right? Come on, what are some other things our
and
following
now with
has
the
done?
Ark.
The Ark. Our following now is helping with the Ark, which, by the way, I have my first board meeting as you're watching this today with the Ark. They've invited me to be a part of their board. They actually asked me to be the president. I said, give me a term, and then we'll see how that whole president position works in. But as you're watching this, I already had my first board meeting with the Ark today. And so we have a dollar sale on the benefiting of the Ark this Saturday, where people are going to flood Otter Creek. And not only that, the town hall has been flooding the Levy County Sheriff's Station with phone calls, which I think are frivolous and I think are a waste of county funds. And a local reporter actually reported on this. This is no joke whatsoever. No joke whatsoever. I mean, it is kind of funny because there is no real readership for this individual. This is not a person who buys barrels by the ink by the barrels. This is a person who is, well, let me just share some of this with you and give you my thoughts on it, okay? So, number one, this is, well, here we go. I'm gonna read it to you. I'm gonna let you know what it says. It says, a package arrived at the Otter Creek Town Hall Monday, addressed with a riddle, apparently aimed at Town Clerk Mary DeGroot. I'm going to share last name because that's exactly what's in the article. I'm going to share the article as it is. But the mysterious package, as it turned out, contained a calculator. By the way, there is a picture of the package. You see that right there? There's a picture. I get these all the time. All the time.
I mean, bubble mailers?
Yeah, this is an Amazon bubble mailer. And last I checked, Amazon doesn't ship anything dangerous. And I've never, ever once called the cops or the sheriff because I got a package. Ever. Have you?
Mm-mm.
Okay.
Never would I think to call the police.
Making sure. Just making sure. Okay. So this is exactly what's in the picture, except this one is shipped to, you see that there? That's shipped to What the Hales right there, and not to Mary DeGroot. Okay. So I assume it looked just like that from the picture in the article. So let's digest this article a little bit, okay? Quotes, in quotes, it was a calculator. I'm sure there was a hidden message in there. I haven't been following Otter Creek politics, said Lieutenant Scott Trummel, Public Information Officer for Levy County Sheriff Office. So Levy County Sheriff is saying, hey, there was a calculator, there was a hidden message in there. I haven't been following Otter Creek politics. Nobody follows Otter Creek politics. It's Otter Creek. There's less than 100 people here. Otter Creek hasn't even been on the map until we actually started sharing some of the corruption and the gross misuse of calling the sheriff. And so now people all over the world are following Otter Creek politics. So let's keep going on here in this actual article. The package was addressed to Mary Mathis Scary using the Town Hall Street address. It was delivered by Amazon Prime in the afternoon hours. The sender was anonymous. Now, I want to pause right here, okay? It says the sender was anonymous. Now, me being me, and me thinking I know the way that Russ the Sus actually works, or some of the individuals in Otter Creek, the way that they think, I would think that they would try and pin this on What the Hales family and following. The same What the Hales followers that have helped children from around the world. The same What the Hales followers that have helped children all over our United States, and who are now helping those individuals with special needs at the Ark. The town hall, Mary Mathescary and Russ the Sus are the ones that are calling this quote unquote reporter, and he's putting in print anything they want. Seems a little suspicious to me. You know, sus, like Russ the Sus. So they're going to say, you know what, this was anonymous and this was part of What the Hales, this was part of their family and their following, which is a incredible following. Who's to say that it wasn't Russ the Sus? Who's to say it wasn't the mayor who actually sent it anonymous to make it look bad on behalf of somebody else? Who's to say that it wasn't somebody else in Otter Creek that sent it to make things look bad for the family and the following of What the Hales? Now, we've been very, very clear, and I'm going to be clear again. We've asked, do not call, do not send packages, do not interact or associate with the people of Otter Creek in any negative way whatsoever. We're handling this all the right way, the legal way. But if I were to think like the other side going, who's to say Russell, the mayor of Otter Creek, didn't send this package to Mary, who then wanted to call a reporter that has a very, 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 very low following and very, very, very low reading. Probably the highest readership right now is actually our following, looking for Otter Creek. But who's to say it wasn't the mayor, wasn't Russell, Russell Meeks, okay? If it's anonymous, it could have been anybody. You would think with the financial state of the town, they would be happy with any donation, no matter who it came from or where it came from. Mayor Russell Meeks says he was followed around town on Election Day, April 4th, by a man who publishes videos on his personal YouTube page, Jeremy Hales. Why don't you just say my YouTube page? Are you afraid to say the YouTube page? It's What the Hales. Just say it, share it. If you're gonna actually report this, share it. It's What the Hales. And he said it was the only day he was followed by Hales. Let me back up. What we were doing was exposing what the mayor does on a daily basis.
We got the idea.
This man creeps around town, creeps around the school with children, creeps around the females. This man constantly circles around these people, in my opinion, like a predator. And yet, this is the response that you want to put in there. How about you ask this individual, Mayor Russell Meeks, why is he in his multiple trucks? And why is he creeping around the town, spying on people? Why is he constantly going past the school? Why is he constantly going past females or anybody else in town? We got the idea by what he does. All we did is what he does. And what we did was follow him in one circle, and then we followed him in another circle around town. This is what this man does every day. Every single day.
Multiple times a day.
Multiple times a day. The residents have film of him doing it all the time. There's something off up here on this man. All we did is do what he did. And by the way, you have a legal right to know what your representatives are doing on a daily basis. So we did nothing illegal. We have every legal right to know what our representatives of the town are doing. And so we did absolutely nothing illegal whatsoever. We wanted to know what he was doing. And he continues to creep around the town.
And we proved it by following him, right?
Proved it? You better believe we proved it. And why doesn't the writer actually address that video and show that video? Why not? Well, if you're going to tell the story, show the whole story. Well, direct the people to the video.
Sure. And another thing that I thought was weird is he didn't question you about it.
Well, we'll get to that. So he's got a quote by Mayor Russell Meeks. Town Hall Clerk DeGroot expected Monday's package to be a prank, even though she personally didn't want to open it. A sheriff's deputy was called to the scene to investigate the package. Can you be any more frivolous? You're calling the sheriff now to open your mail. Like, this is just mind-blowing to me. Absolutely mind-blowing. Last I checked, Amazon will not ship anything dangerous. And so now you're calling the sheriff to open your mail. Like, I can't even wrap my head around this. I cannot wrap my head around this or what the Levy County Sheriff Department is thinking right now about Otter Creek. Like, who in the world? Now, we weren't even going to share this with our following. We were already told this by somebody else. Mary is telling this to other people, and it's a small town. People talk to people, talk to people, talk to people, talk to people. And so we got this fourth down the line. Mary told an individual who then told an individual who then told an individual who then told us about this. And then there's an article about it. Listen, if you are so distraught and you have to call the sheriff to open your packages, I'm pretty sure you wouldn't be telling everybody about it or calling and having a reporter report on it and be like, oh man, I mean, this just blows my mind. Okay. So a sheriff's deputy was called to the scene, which, by the way, I will be requesting, and this is public record. You can all request it as well. This is a public record. I will be requesting the report, and I will be requesting the body cam from this footage from the Levy County Sheriff so I can share with you later. Again, this is all part of evidence gathering for what's going to happen in a civil suit against the town, against Mary, against Russell, and others that support and moved forward to do illegal things and activities in the town. All right, so it says, turns out she was right. And then she says, I think it was some kind of joke because of a funding issue with the YouTuber's water bill. He likes to do rhymes and make up funny names, she said. All right, let's get to the bottom of this. This is not a funding issue. And if you're going to report this, why didn't you call me and actually ask me what the issue is? Mary and the town are stealing from me. They have stolen from me. They're stealing from everybody in the town. You call yourself a reporter? You call yourself a reporter? You didn't call me for a comment. Why don't you call me for a comment? Why don't you show your readership the actual videos of what she's done? This is like mind-boggling ridiculousness. And Mary's response of, I think this is some kind of joke because of a funding issue. Let's get to the bottom of this. There's no funding issue that I have. I can pay my bills. The town of Otter Creek, we have already proved, cannot pay their bills. Their mayorship and their elected officials have actually bankrupted the town. They have no money to pay their bills. They're broke. They're broke. 2021, they were in the red by over $9,000 on the water. In the red. And that's when they started to come up with fees to charge me out of nowhere, illegally. In the red. The funding issue is the town. Report that. The funding issue is they lost over $9,000 in 2021 selling water to their people. And then they started coming up with numbers just for Jeremy Hales. Report that. Why don't you call me for a comment? Report that. Let's keep going before I get too hot and heated here, okay? All right. He likes to do rhymes and make up funny names. You know what? If I couldn't laugh at this whole situation, I'd go insane because these people are literally crazy. Crazy. I'm going to laugh that you called the sheriff. I mean, I don't know what kind of rhyme I'm going to come up with it. How many rhyme?
Amazon Prime rhymes with rhyme.
Can I rhyme? Yeah, Amazon Prime. There you go. Okay, there you go. Mary, math is scary. All right. So, however, it goes on. However, DeGroot is worried that with everything going on in the YouTuber's videos and the obscene and threatening phone calls to town hall, things could get out of hand. So, again, we have shared with this. I just said that there's potential that Russell could have been the one that sent the package, and I wouldn't put it past him. Just because they're getting phone calls doesn't mean that our following is doing the phone calling. If it's anonymous, it's an anonymous phone call. Who's to say it's not Russell actually calling in? Who's to say it's not Russell getting individuals to call in and actually harass? And then he wants to call a reporter and say, hey, this is what's going on. I need you to report this so I can get some support. Ridiculous. Our true fans have done such incredible things, and Otter Creek has no concept of the things that they could do for this town and rebuild this town and do it right. And this is where we're at right now, the ridiculousness of this. When a clerk is calling the sheriff to open her mail. All right. This is still in quotations. One of these lunatics that's listening to the garbage the YouTuber is spewing. Wait, hold a second. One of the lunatics, by the way, she just called you lunatics. If you're watching, she just called you the lunatic. And the garbage that I'm spewing. The garbage that I'm spewing is evidence in court. So if a judge is going to accept it as evidence, is it really garbage? This is evidence of the corruption, of the theft of what you're doing in Otter Creek. So you call it garbage, I call it truth. You call it spewing, I call it accountability. This is insanity. They've operated this long. You know what? People who pick a fight and then claim they want a peaceful ending to it. They start wars they can't win. Every man wants peace. When they start a war, they can't win. This is insanity. You know, Mark Twain also said, "Don't get in a fight with someone who has a lower IQ with you, or don't get in a fight with somebody who's on another level of stupidity, because they'll beat you at the own game, and then they'll bash you with it." You know, something along those lines. This is what I'm getting right now, is beaten at the own game in an argument. So one of these lunatics that's listening to the garbage that YouTube is spewing, which is truth, 100% truth, it's everyday truth, somebody's going to get hurt. I don't want it to be somebody in Otter Creek, she says. Well, here's what I want. You to be in jail. My end goal is for you to be in jail, for Russell to be in jail, for anybody else who's been behind this to be in jail. That's the end goal. The end goal is for you to be bankrupt and jailed. And you may go, oh, wait, well, this is over some funding issue with water. No. This is the principle that you're stealing from people. This is the principle that you're lying to people. This is the principle that you can't even tell the truth in a report. This is all principle-based. It's not money-based. I have enough money to fight this to the very end. Do you? My end goal is for you to be behind bars. That's my end goal for all of you. And if you want to help, all of you lunatics that she just called you, get every single auditor you can, every single agency that you can. Amendments First Rights auditors, Amendments Fourth Rights auditors. You get them here in Otter Creek. You guys do it the right way. Do it the right way. Get those people here that should be here to correct this issue, correct agencies to get involved and correct the issues. And that doesn't mean calling the Levy County Sheriff Department with anything else. They don't need to be bothered with such things. All right. It also goes on to say the phone calls to town hall have been anonymous. Please help me understand how we have a town hall that doesn't have caller ID. Please help me. How does our town hall not have caller ID? And that goes to prove that it could be Russell and his goonies doing something there, again, just to spread hate in his little following and lack of readership here. In one call recorded of the town hall's voicemail by this, a man said, "Mayor Russell and the city, you're on notice. We're coming for you. Your days are numbered. Your days of corruption are over, and we're coming for y'all," he said. I can't respond to that. I didn't hear it. But the reality is, that's the truth. I'm going after them the right way in a civil lawsuit, the legal way. And so I am doing everything I can, along with other members of Otter Creek, to make sure the corruption ends. And so when this individual, if he said this in the recording, "We're coming for you," I'm going to say it another way. The citizens of the town of Otter Creek have had it with your corruption, your theft, your manipulation, your lack of transparency. And I'm coming for you legally. And here we go. Another call recorded by another call recorded by this, can you even call this newspaper? You really can't call it anything. I mean, nobody reads it. It's not really news. But another recording called by this, the town hall voicemail was laced with explicits directed at the woman in town hall. The man said, "You stupid F CTS, what's wrong with the F water bill over there? I see you guys in F interview. You SOBs will send a couple of thousand protesters around you F house, you F piece of S." I'm not really good at reading, but that's a lot of Fs. And again, this does not sound like one of our followers or one of our fans. This could be anybody. And if it is one of our followers and one of our fans, stop immediately. This is not appropriate. I've said this over and over and over again. The right way. Can you protest? Absolutely. In this comment, it says, we'll send a couple thousand of protesters. I know if I said right now, I want 5,000 protesters here in a week, 5,000 people would show up and protest. It would be the right way, not the wrong way. We don't need the Fs. We don't need the C's. We don't need any of those things. We don't need pieces of S's. We don't need any of that. if we're going to protest, we're going to do it the right way. And again, we're going to do it within the court of law. That's the right way. All right, it goes on to say the calls have been reported to the sheriff's office. Again, we can get all those same calls as well, and we can get all of those reports, and we plan on doing all of that. The election on April 4th may be a part of the political chaos in Otter Creek, but just a part of it. The election on April 4th isn't part of political chaos in Otter Creek. Deception, corruption, lying, lack of transparency is the chaos of Otter Creek under the mayor, Russell Meeks, and with the town hall clerk, Mary DeGroot. There has been controversy over the fact that the residents of Shady Oaks Campground and RV Park in Otter Creek voted in the election and may have influenced the outcome. Anybody who votes influences the outcome of an election. Duh! That's really good reporting right there. All right, let me keep going though. The allegation is not all of those who voted are full-time residents of the town. Supervisor of Elections Tammy Jones said 19 RV park residents voted in the town election, including 2 owners of the RV park. A total of 71 people cast ballots in the election. All right, let's stop right there. Florida law says that if you live in an RV park, you can vote. The RV park has 25 spots. That's 25 spots plus the 2 owners, okay? Let's say there's a husband and a wife in all those 25 spots. That's up to 50 individuals that could have voted in the election. Not only that, 52 if you count the owner and his wife, both owners. 52 individuals could have voted in this election. You know how many you did from the RV park? 17. 19 if you call the owners part of the RV park. 17 individuals from the RV park, where up to 50 potentially could have. Now you go, oh man, 71 individuals voted. That was a record for Otter Creek. Why was it a record for Otter Creek? Because this is the first time in the history of this mayor actually leading that there's been transparency. There's actually been videos. People actually are taking a stand against it now. People are sick and tired of the corruption. There's literally a viewership, whereas people before knew nothing. The mayor told them nothing. The reality was you got no finances. You knew nothing about the finances. You knew nothing except, oh, the water's real good here in Otter Creek. You requested a 2-inch meter. Your plumber called me personally. Well, your Otter Creek plumber, your Otter Creek man, Lonnie, is putting in a check valve. You have not put a check valve in any of the residents of Otter Creek's lines. You're stealing from every single one of them. And you're trying to cover it up and you're trying to hide it. So when we get to an RV park that has 17 votes, 18, 19 if you count the owners, and you go, whoa, there were 71 people. Guys, there's not that many people in Otter Creek, and they legally can vote. They got involved in voting because of the transparency that's finally being placed in front of them. They've had it. And so have I, which is why this is where we are today. I'm sick and tired of it. All I wanted to do is come to Otter Creek and live a peaceful life in the woods. I was sold property with, how many times do I have to say this? I was sold property illegally with known encroachments. I have illegal trespassing. I have illegal hunting. I have illegal drugs being sold on my property. I'm being illegally charged for water. I mean, this is just, it just goes on and on and on. So at any rate, Supervisor of Elections Tammy Jones said that 19 RV park residents voted in the town election, including 2 owners of the RV park. Total of 71 people cast their ballots in the election. She said state law allows RV park residents to vote in elections. They must swear under oath that they intend to use their RVs as permanent residents. She said some RV residents in Chiefland from Southern Leisure RV Resort and Strawberry Field RV Park do vote in city elections. I'm not sure why that Chiefland part is put in there, because we're not Chiefland, we're Otter Creek. But it proves a point that other RV park owned individuals are actually getting involved in their local elections. She's aware of the controversy surrounding Otter Creek election. Of course she is, because we've asked her to bring her own board of elections to make sure this election was actually legitimate, true, and that Russell and Mary weren't skewing the votes. And so people of Otter Creek went to the Board of Elections and said, we need your people here. And so, of course, she's aware of it. We, the people of Otter Creek, made her aware of it. So again, that being said, she said if someone wants to contest the election, they will have to file a challenge through the clerk's office at the courthouse. A case would go to the judge for a decision of whether voting irregularities occurred based on the facts presented. It all comes down to fact finding, and if someone does contest the election, and the judge will determine the factual documents provided who lives there and who doesn't, she said, referring to the RV park. So absolutely nothing was illegally done in the RV park. As a matter of fact, George and I found out that we could have actually voted because we have a desire, and the terminology is if your intention is to live here full time. Our intention is to live here full time. We're seasonal right now, but the intention is in just a short period of time, we'll be in Otter Creek full time. Florida law regarding mobile voters states for a person with a non-traditional abode, a boat, motorhome, etc., who intends and has the presence in the county and intends for the county to be a resident of the county, except the acceptable addresses include the place where the messages regularly are received, the general delivery addresses at a specific post office, the address of the campground or the docking site if mail is received there. Okay, so that being said, I have some questions. By the way, there's the picture again of the mail right there. Just like this. I don't know anybody who's ever called a sheriff to open their mail for them. All right, I have a major issue. Number one, this individual is very slanted in his reporting, which we already know that happens all the time in reporting, right? Why is this individual saying Jeremy Hales, but yet hasn't contacted me? Why has this individual not contacted me? He's talked to DeGroot. He's talked to Meeks, Russell Meeks, Mary DeGroot, but he hasn't talked to Jeremy Hales. He just puts Jeremy Hales' name in there, and he's scared to put what the Hales in there. Why hasn't this reporter actually talked to the campground owners? I've gotten no reach out to Jeremy Hales. Would you like to comment on this? Oh, I would love to comment on this. As a matter of fact, I have hours and hours and hours and hours of footage of comments on this, but yet you're not reporting any of that. I see a major issue with your integrity as a reporter. Major issue. You have not contacted the two people that you're trying to slant saying, oh man, these individuals are bad. Because these two individuals are actually trying to show to the people of Otter Creek what's going on is bad. And what's going to happen when all of Otter Creek says, I've had it, I want my money back, the town has been stealing from me, and the list goes on and on and on and on. You know what? Some individual was just telling me, why doesn't the board of Otter Creek, why don't they have annual drug test? I think that's a genius idea. Why doesn't the town of Otter Creek actually have annual drug tests? Not only drugs, but alcohol as well. I think there should be random alcohol and drug tests for every individual on that council. Every single one, monthly. Random monthly drug and alcohol test. I mean, that's what happens when you work for somebody, right? I mean, they can say, hey, we have random drug tests here, and you're employed by them. By the way, those council members, they're employed by the residents of Otter Creek. They should be tested regularly. Not only that, we can go on into other things that they should be doing. There should be transparency of the finances. We've already made a request for documentation. We received absolutely nothing so far. Complete and total breach of the Sunshine Law. We received not a single record. The only record in the 3 years that George and I have lived here that I finally received was just weeks ago when I paid my bill and Mary finally gave me a resolution. That's in 3 years. That's the only record I've received. I've asked over and over and over and over and over and over again. Break of the law, break of the law, break of the law, break of the law. Florida's pretty tough on the Sunshine Law. And why aren't I getting records? The reason I'm not getting records is because when I start looking, I'm going to find so much more. This isn't over. This is just beginning. You want to find some humor in this with me? Because I love to laugh. You guys know I do. George knows I do. Yeah. And this is the funniest part of the whole thing. This organization says their mission is to create a more informed Levy County, Florida community regarding the process of how our local government functions for its taxpayers' benefit. That's odd because I didn't hear you say anything about that for Otter Creek. But it keeps going on. Information is power. No kidding. That's why the people are actually voting in Otter Creek now, because information is finally getting out to them. And yet it's not coming from you. It's coming from us. It's coming from live streaming on Facebook. And then it says they pride themselves on reporting the facts of local government meetings. And yet you've reported absolutely nothing about the Otter Creek local government meetings. Wow, we've been sharing everything. And it says the meetings, while many of the citizens are at work or unable to attend night meetings. And then they go on to say this: your donations help support our work. Number one, What the Hale's family and friends, don't ever send a cent to this place. This is ridiculous. This is not reporting. And number two, if you really want to have a positive impact, I have a fundraiser for you. Olight is doing an awesome fundraiser for all of those autistic kids in our lives. These aren't just normal kids. They're some of the most special kids in the world. And we got to meet one and give a gift of an Olight, and you can buy your own. We'll put a link in the comments and you can give a gift for this fundraiser as well. We just had guests come to the schoolhouse. Who are you guys?
Seashell Treasures, Michelle.
I'm Brianna.
Brianna, you were actually at Half Meal Time to Grow with Mom, and you won the auctioneering contest, right?
Yeah.
You won a pretty big prize, right?
Yes.
Okay. Now, you're autistic as well, correct?
Yes, I have Asperger's.
Okay. Well, Olight, our favorite flashlight company, is actually trying to bring awareness to autism. And so they're running a big fundraiser for autism awareness, and they gave me this flashlight specifically to give to you. So
Wow.
Not only did you win a prize at Half Meal Time to Grill, you get your very own autistic awareness flashlight.
That's
Oh
a
my
cool
God,
color.
Thank you.
Oh,
She's
She's
love
been
it.
saying, Mom, we gotta buy one. Mom, we gotta buy one, because we
'Cause I've
do a
been so
little bit of the
excited.
store auctions and stuff too.